Yeah, 1991. I've been playing this game for a long time now.
1991 Capcom game. I imagine this is going to be a straight-up butt punch.
Pretty much. It's... You know, it's... If you see something moving, kill it!
Darn right.
And what better team to do that with than G.I. Joe?
Go, Joe!
And people are going to hate me for saying this, but this really still is a much better game than the first one, the Taxon one, because Taxon had no real idea of fair difficulty, I noticed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like anytime you started up with a password, you started with everybody's skills and everything down at level 1.
Oh.
And, and their life was at default life, which is like, no, guys, I'm sorry. That doesn't work for the higher levels in the game. Whereas with this one, they've got a password system that, it keeps track of everything. Oh, and I wanted to take a moment to point out 2 lovely little things right there on the video, as you might have noticed.
Yeah, they unearthed it.
I know. Even in 91, God, 9-year-old me was like, that's not a word.
Unearthed? This is crazy.
Especially since this was North America only. I was like, guys, how do you mess that up? It's not like this is English.
It was written by a programmer who's probably on like 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah, as I understand it, that's about how it ran back then.
I tell you, only Cobra Commander could accidentally build a base on top of Atlantis.
Yeah, he's probably looking for, it's like, okay, we need a new place. Cobra Island sucks now. The Bahamas! No, sir, that's the middle of the ocean. Duster just leans over to the other guy, to the medic. I thought you said we fixed his brain.
More pudding!
And I'll actually be talking about these guys a little, at least on here, but mostly I'll be doing it on the forum, because I actually have scans of the comic book.
Nice.
And I'm realizing they seem to have gone with, except for continuing the whole, okay, you killed Cobra Commander, now he's revived. They seem to be going with the comic book more than the show here, which is probably for the best. And just
that's a good point.
Yeah, and just real quick, the red item there, that's, those are generally routes. You go through those, you level up, beat the crap out of any Cobras you find. The little B, those are intersections where you choose where you go next, and then those lovely red boxes are enemy bases. And I'll be kind of showing off 1 Joe per base against the boss.
Cool. All right.
Yeah. Your basic mission prep screen. Select. You pick which Joe you're currently highlighted on. Decide. Useless right now, but that's once you get more than 1 Joe. Decide is, okay, I like this Joe. I locked in my choice. Go to the next one. Just showing off Hawk's basic moves. Machine gun. Fisticuffs.
Alright, I'm feeling it. This is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty. And that grid right there, that's your password system.
Oh.
Yeah. And Hawk just beat the crap out of Viper.
Yeah.
Level 2 is fun. If you notice, he gets a little hook as he's punching.
Yeah.
So that's what's so fun with this. They actually gave everybody a bunch of new animations every time they get a new level for whatever.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And everybody has slightly different, like, one of the later Joes, his flying kick is more like a flying tackle through the air.
Nice. Wow, that is an impressive amount of detail for an NES game.
I know. That was the fun thing about the end of a console lifespan, is like they put so much work into things. boss. And this is our first mini-boss encounter, a guy called Road Pig, one of the Dreadnoks. He's notable for A, being tough as a tank, and B, he has a split personality.
Oh, really?
There's Donald, the very nice man, who talks like an English gentleman, practically, very erudite, very well-mannered.
Sure.
And then you get Road Pig, who once, I think he drove a school bus of nuns off a cliff and survived.
Wow, that's hardcore.
Yeah, the Dreadnoks are not very nice people. Half of the challenge for me on this game, I realized, was actually, outside of the Joes and the Cobra bosses, identifying all the Cobra troops.
Okay.
Because, if you look at them, you realize there's not a ton of detail going on there. Like, the only reason I realized that that last guy that I killed in the purple over there was a Viper was his big face mask and the gun he carries out in front of him.
Alright. Wow.
I actually slightly blame the last game. I think they just ripped some of the sprites from a previous. And as you notice,
that makes sense.
Yeah, and as you notice with the level up, the reason that was the reason I was going back and forth and killing more things. If you go above a certain score, you get a free level up.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, what's you?
Yeah, in the show they had him have a rivalry with one of the Marines. Leatherneck and Wetsuit absolutely hated each other. They kept it out of the comics, and I'm kind of glad for that, because, this is supposed to be a unit of elite, the best of the best. You can dislike each other, sure, but actually, rivalry? Who's got time for that, right?
Of course.
Yeah, see, now I'm showing off Select. You get to Select, just lets you cycle through your characters, and once you hit Decide, choice locked in, go to your next team member choice. So, that's what I like about this. They actually they put a lot of detail and thought into this game. Oh, and since I got Hawk to 4, I'm showing off the new move that you get it for. I call it Death from Above. It's a flying knee drop.
It's like a badass Tony Jaa knee drop. That's amazing.
Yeah. Like I said, they came up with so many cool things. In fact, all 6 of them get it, except for 2. There are 2 exceptions because we have 2 ninjas. They don't use a knee, they use a sword.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see, those guys with the huge guns are called Saw Vipers. I forget exactly what Saw stands for at the moment. Look that up real quick. .com. And in this stage, I get to show off Wetsuit's special trick. You press down and A, like you would if you're going off a ledge. He gets to go underwater without taking damage.
Oh, really? So if we were Hawk right now...
Yeah, Hawk couldn't go underwater, but once you're down there, you can switch to him. But Hawk would start taking damage, because, no breathing apparatus.
Right.
And Wetsuit is useful for for not just the underwater stages, but for the first couple stages of the game, because you need more than one character.
Sure.
Yeah. Especially against bosses. Bosses, unless you know what you're doing, they will take forever.
It seemed like you wiped out Road Pig pretty quick, but I guess he was just the intro.
Pretty much, yeah. I remember the old Nintendo Power suggestion on that was immediately start leveling up your gun, so that once you face him, it'll be up to level 3. And then you just crouch in the corner and shoot. It's like, no, you take a buttload of damage doing that.
Nintendo Power fights with Dishonor, but I love them.
Yeah. Plus, it's more fun. You're flipping back and forth over him, kicking him in the back of the head.
It was a surprisingly impressive fight for an NES game.
Yeah. That's what I love about this game. It's like, think, G.I. Joe, there's not a lot going on there. You know, it's like, no, once you get into it, this is a surprisingly detailed and badass game.
Yeah, I guess you'd, normally be a little bit leery about a licensed game, but, jeez, Capcom was on point.
Oh yeah, and the music, right? Even the music is actually pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's really funky.
I know if it wasn't for time limits, sometimes I would just sit there and let it rock away. And now I'm just...
Oh yeah, I see. 40 seconds,
That's another nice thing about Hawk and his... he's got the third highest jump, and he's got one of the longest kick... horizontal kicks.
Right.
Yeah. That's another thing I like about this one versus the previous game, is that everybody's got certain stats. Like, Hawk is your basic all-rounder, except with one specific weapon. Wetsuit is your other all-rounder, except for going underwater. There he's absolute king.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's what it was all about. I was getting a couple of levels.
Mm-hmm. What's the max level for an attack?
4.
4. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Hawk's maxed out.
Oh, and the best part about 4 on the machine gun, while you're getting 4, a spread of 4 lines of bullets going out, it still only spends 1 round per shot. So,
fantastic.
Yeah, that's actually surprisingly powerful. That was why for the Road Pig fight they suggested the crouch and shoot method, because then you're getting 3 shots per second at him.
Right. And it's a strategy that even a tiny child can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, hello, Road Pig. Or his pal.
Yeah, that's Road Pig again. He's just discolored this time, like he's a mutant or something.
Alright, that was a little bit cheesy, man.
Well, I was
just
also
crouching in the corner, hitting him in the pills.
Well, I was also showing off just how much damage the knee drop can do, because you notice that one went a lot faster.
Yeah, he died super quick.
And
or I guess not died, like got beat up, I guess.
Yeah, Road Pig, since he's a mini boss, there are going to be quite a few of them. And those little guys with the gun emplacements are Toxo Vipers. Also referred to as the Leaky Suit Brigade, because they get some of the cheapest equipment in the entire Armed Forces. Yeah, they handle all the dangerous environment stuff. Although, usually to be in the Toxo Brigade, you have to have really pissed off your commander in some way, or done something very, very bad and stupid that even Cobra won't put up with.
So it would seem.
Yeah. Yeah, basic mission for this base is, planting explosives. Which I do every time I go over an X. That's... I don't know what was up with me this day. I normally avoid all those shots.
Oh, it happens. So who's your favorite joke?
Not a lot of people have heard of this guy, because he came around like the second to last year before they canceled the whole line. It was from a group called the Mega Marines. Cobra had come up with these bio monsters, like genetically enhanced monstrosities. And the Joes had to come up with a special heavy weapon squad just to fight them. He's a weapon specialist called Mirage. And sadly, because the comic was ending, he never showed up in that at the time.
Oh, no.
Yeah, in fact, like the last couple of years of the comic, I look at it and I'm realizing, I think somebody told the writer, who'd been, the guy who'd actually come up with a lot of the 3 3/4 inch shows, on the last couple of years of it, they're starting to get so many new figures, don't even bother trying to tie them all in anymore. Because at that point, we were getting at least 100 figures a year. Or at least
100? Holy.
Well, at least several.
I knew there were a lot, but...
Yeah, well, okay. Probably exaggerated a little, but like several dozen at least.
Sure.
And that's way, even if it's just a uniform change, that's way too many to try to tie in, right?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. So is this guy? Is this another one of Road Pig's buddies?
No, this one is a guy called... He's a ridiculous one, except in the comics he's called Croc Master. And that whip he carries around is actually his chains that he controls his gators with.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what's ridiculous. He's a Croc Master, but he has alligators. Yeah, he's in charge of the wetland security on Cobra Island. Because, there's this huge range of swamps. Yeah. Well, he's in charge of the security over there. Nobody goes through there because it's him and his gators. They don't want to take
him and his crocogators.
Yeah, they don't want to take the chance that they're not going to recognize a Cobra Trooper. Suits him just fine. He doesn't much care for human company anyway.
That's wonderful. I mean, what I love about G.I. Joe is that it's just like it's so Reagan era in that everyone's got a job that they do. Everyone can be useful.
And actually, one of the cool things about it at the time was when he was coming up with it, was the idea. If you look at some of the lines, everybody's got a specific job on the Joe team, and they have a replacement coming by each year. Like somebody new who does the same job.
Right.
Oh, and this boss, who I decided to have face off against, Cesspool, was a corrupt corporate executive who got horribly scarred by some of the chemicals that he was illegally using. He also takes for freaking ever to kill, but that's only because we're such low level on most things right now. And
this is our first real boss.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, we only
have we seen Wetsuit's level 4 attack?
Yeah. Every time I'm dropping down on his head like that.
Oh.
And if you watch the life meter, it goes down pretty fast.
Yeah, that's a heck of a hit. I guess it's just kind of a very subtle animation because he just kind of sticks his foot out like meh.
And then I show off by flying through the air.
Woo!
And you gotta love the way they die there. Just all that, all those shockwave lines flying outwards.
Take that, Cesspool.
And now we get our second recruit. A former Cobra Ninja who only joined because he wanted to find out who killed his uncle.
Everyone's favorite character. I seem to recall the ninjas were really popular.
Oh, totally. Everybody loved the ninjas. Okay, and since that's just about the end of the chapter, we'll pick up on the next one. And we'll see you next time, Internet.